live? And we're live?
And we're live.
We're live. Hey, everybody. I'm Dan Nadelko.
And I'm Stacey DeSantis.
Producer Matt.
And welcome to the first Live at the Hive for 2020, episode 110.
Woo!
We didn't get
baby.
we didn't get like blowers and
Yeah. And
New Year's hats and stuff.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But Benny B, he has the balloons in the bottom
Well-
corner there, just below Stacy.
Well, there we go.
Oh, does he?
So we're good on that.
Okay.
So we're good on that. So hopefully you all had a really good, restful holiday.
Yeah, totally. It's important to rest.
Yes. I don't know how much rest I got, but
Well, you do have a full house.
I do have a full house. This is very true.
You were saying you got
It
like
was
2
good fun.
birthdays this weekend going on. It's like,
Yes,
it
my
never
daughter's
ends.
my daughter is for it, having 2 birthday parties, and then she's going to somebody else's birthday party as well. So, yeah, pray for me.
Nice.
I might not be around next week. So we have some pretty exciting new additions to Live at the Hive that we're going to be implementing. Starting next week, we've got Jacob Fernandez from Vidyard showing up, and then
Avery Schwartz.
Avery Schwartz. You might want to pull your mic a little
sure,
closer.
yeah.
there.
And she is the CEO of Camp Tech.
Excellent. So we are going to be bringing in regular guests, both in the marketing space, the video space, the software space, just to mix it up, get you some different perspectives on both marketing techniques, like video marketing, for example, and also just a bunch of different perspectives, just so that you get a whole raft of new ideas from this. And that's,
sure.
That's truly our intention here with this.
And if you've been a long-time viewer of Live at the Hive and you want to come on the show, just send us a DM and we can schedule something through.
Absolutely. Freelancers, product marketers, B2B marketers. We really, it's a wide landscape.
It is,
to
yeah.
cover.
And it's important to have other people's perspectives as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So so pretty exciting stuff on that
Back
front.
and better than ever.
Back and better than ever. Were you twitching last Friday, Matt, or were you probably weren't?
For what?
Just
Oh.
Live at the Hive, Live at the Hive, Live at the Hive.
I was like, I had this weird itch at like 4:30 on Friday. I was like, I should be doing something right now. But
So I have this very weird meta thing going on my iPhone where I have, or not my iPhone, my Android, where I have the Facebook live stream and the YouTube live stream,
nice.
both on the same exact screen.
Yeah, he's got like three
It's
screens in
very
one.
meta.
Only in 2020.
Only in 2020, which is actually the topic of today's Live at the Hive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've been on the internet lately.
I hope.
I hope you two have been. But it is the season for 2020 predictions.
Yeah.
It's kind of all of the rage. So we figured why buck the trend?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking back on 2019 a little bit, and actually the 2000s, which has got some interesting little tidbits from the big movers and shakers.
Absolutely. It was really cool.
And then looking forward to 2020, and we're just kind of free-for-alling it here. So if you do have any questions or comments about what you think is going to be the biggest trend, or if you're not sure what the biggest trend or where you should be focusing, again, it doesn't matter if you're a freelancer, if you're a student, if you're a marketing manager, feel free to throw it out there.
You're in sales even.
Yep, 100%. So why don't we just dive right in?
Okay, which one?
So there was a cool one. Producer Matt, the first link there on Business Insider. We've pulled some of these as well. Some pretty cool predictions. These are from the big three: Steve Jobs, Bezos, and this guy Bill Gates did a thing or two.
Have you heard of
I
him?
heard, you heard of him. And they made predictions way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of which have come to fruition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And some of them you're like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, and I think, in some ways, these are very powerful, influential people that were guiding big companies to do this.
yeah.
It's just fascinating to see 30 and 20 years later, what the results are, right?
Exactly. Or how they may have come to fruition but evolved in a different way too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of these things, it still kind of amazes me when we talk about digital marketing. and the impact of these little slates you keep in your pocket.
It's true.
It's absolutely been a game changing, say, last 4 to 5 years. In the world of marketing, and we're going to dive into it. But the first one that I really liked was Steve Jobs saying the next stage is going to be computers as agents. In other words, it'll be as if there's a little person inside the box who starts to anticipate what you want.
It's true.
Hello, Alexa.
Yeah.
Hello, Siri.
Don't ask Siri how she feels about Alexa. I'm just going to say. But yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's true. Yeah. And like I once watched a comedy show and they were talking about how if you were to explain to somebody that was in the 70s or 60s that we'd be walking around with these little tablets, what would they think? They'd be like, and what do you do with these little things in your hands all the time, right? They wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to see how it's all evolved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the second part of it is Steve Jobs saying, I always thought it would be really wonderful to have a little box, a sort of slate that you would carry along with you. And, prescient to his creation of the iPod and then obviously the iPhone, which kind of really started that whole concept. The iPhone was released way back in 2007 now, 13 years ago. And Siri only launched in 2010, 10 years ago.
Siri's 10 years old now.
Yep. Siri is 10 years old. And just a vacuum of information sucking machines from Google, Amazon, and Apple.
Quick sidebar. Does Siri ever just kind of naturally pop up and
Oh,
talk to you?
no.
Oh, absolutely.
One second.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What happened? What's going on?
The battery is done from your camera.
Oh, shit.
But it's okay. We're still streaming. We're still live.
We're still live with no camera. Okay, there is a power cord there in the big one. Producer Matt. Okay, so it's a podcast right now. We'll keep talking while producer Matt does that.
Yeah.
We are streaming, so please pardon the interruption here.
Benny's still there.
We'll leave it to. Okay, now it's just a weird giant hole. No. It should say. Okay. Stacy, take it away. Keep going on the predictions.
This guy right here.
Okay, so while those guys get everything sorted, we're going to go to the next prediction, which was constant video feeds of your house will become common, which inform you when somebody visits you're not home. That's what Gates predicted, which, I mean, look what we have now. We have, ADT and Rogers security systems now actually stream and show people what's going on. So that's pretty cool. The next most predictable prediction was that people are looking for work will be able to find employment opportunities online. Hello, LinkedIn, which was pretty cool. That was only 3 years after Bezos actually predicted that one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of awesome.
Absolutely.
What else do we have here?
I like the Jobs' version on storage on email. It's kind of like the cloud storage today. And it kind of goes along with the prediction for like Siri and the slates and everything like that, right? It's it's quite similar for sure.
So we're doing a quick remove.
Yeah, it's moved to a podcast, guys.
Bye, producer Matt.
Bye, producer Matt.
Yeah,
I do
like
producer Matt.
Matt.
I do love Miguel's
Here we go. Now just
comment here.
Yeah.
Was the Jetsons were half right? Rosie, I guess. Yeah, totally, Miguel. We love that.
For sure. Oh, that's not me.
What's the next
Let's
prediction
see
here?
Sony 4K. We'll go here.
Okay, so while the guys
No.
are getting this sorted here, what else do we have?
Sony 4K properties.
So I think those are all the major predictions from the 80s and late 90s
Where's this one?
that we had coming up. But
Oh, right here. Yep.
we're going to go into
Just turn it off.
what our top things that we think are going to be happening in 2020.
Keep going, Stacey.
Okay,
You got
I'm
this.
going.
Don't worry about it,
I'm going. Okay, so number one. Actually, I'm going to start from the highest and go count down. So number 5, paid advertising channels. Google, Facebook, and Microsoft will continue to be saturated. So costs will continue to rise. Inventories will become saturated as this becomes more and more popular. Performance will be challenged with intertwining all the, different paid advertising strategies moving forward. What's really interesting with this is that it's going to become more automated. So one of the pieces that more and more digital marketers are going to be utilizing are, one second here, I had it. It's Google's automatic bidding profile will probably help with dealing with the saturation, because you simply not one marketing manager can go through all those predictions or all those cost and inventory pieces to keep that moving forward, So that's where AI is going to probably come into it more and more. I mean, you'll still need to monitor and make sure that you're, utilizing your metrics accordingly, but, you're going to have to get more creative as well. So campaigns can't just be, buy this. You're going to have to really make sure that your messaging is increasingly more personalized and resonates with your audience as well. So that would be number 5 on our honeypot list here.
Yep.
Oh,
I think we're back.
I think we're back. You guys kind of see me. Oi.
No, we can see you. There we go. Yep. I can
Alright.
tilt it down. It's fine.
Number 4, conversational marketing will become more mainstream. I think we're seeing this a lot with the advent of
But
chatbots.
I can tilt it. It's fine.
I know that chatbots are becoming more and more
tilt it.
sophisticated. We use it for several of our clients as well,
There we
where it's not just simply, hey, how can I help you? It's more
I just banned it.
personalized messaging, and maybe if your brand has a certain tone of voice, utilizing chatbots to reiterate that tone of voice. Chatbots are also really great for providing that 24/7-hour service as well.
For sure.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hi. Who's this?
What a smooth production run for the first day of 2020.
Sorry, I've been so shaky, guys. A lot of
Jazz
craziness.
hands. Jazz hands.
Good, Stace. You did good.
Hey, you know what?
You did good.
You know what?
Thanks, April, for the
Listen,
love.
I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast 10 years. And
turned
all
into
of
a
the things that happened during their video podcast and their podcast. Look at this. We've gone podcast mode.
We
Yeah.
still got 9
Hey,
people.
that's good thinking on the fly, though. Hey, we still did it.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah. Matt's just going to be the voice from heaven.
Yes.
There we go. See, and we're back.
There we go.
Always have multiple cameras ready to go during the live stream.
We got a couple comments in the chat, though. Justin says, hey, guys, I hope VR is the tech of the decade. Miguel says the Jetsons were half right with the Rosie, I guess. So that's with Amazon, Siri, everything like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, VR is going to mature this decade for sure.
Yeah.
And very quickly, I think, and find its way into Ready Player One status.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so let's circle back. I know you were just
Quick firing them.
firing your way through.
I was like,
Okay, so
I'm used to our banter. I miss the banter.
it was the banter. Yeah.
We need the
Yeah.
banter.
It's okay.
Well, we needed. So what happened was, just so everyone knows, there are 2 power cables for a 4K Sony camera. I believe one's in here somewhere.
Yes.
But things got moved around during the holiday season, so we're back here.
Exactly.
So just rolling through some of these kinds of thoughts about what's going to be important in 2020. I think one of the things that's important to remember with digital marketing is that everything is interconnected now.
Yes.
Yeah.
This idea of, well, I'm going to use this channel, and then I'll use Facebook, and then I'll run my Google search ads, and I'll run display ads, and we'll do some Snapchat, and we'll do some LinkedIn. You have to really kind of get it in your mind that people are, the number one thing you can hope for as a marketer is attention. That's what you need to get from your audience. They need to know who you are.
Yeah.
And they need to, if you think about how people task switch with their mobile devices, right?
Yep.
They'll check a LinkedIn post, they'll jump over to Facebook, they'll check their email, they'll text their check their text
They're
messaging.
not just on Facebook. It's omnichannel.
No. Yeah, that's right.
And that's what that means essentially.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with that term, although it was kind of like a trending word in 2019,
Yeah.
omnichannel. Essentially, you want to have a little bit in each pot. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Be like holistically have a strategy.
Yeah. So if we look at any one of the prediction articles that we've got that we'll throw in the comments as well, you'll see a whole bunch of things about chatbots and conversational marketing. That's a big one. That's a theme that kind of races through all of them, right? And then you also have the idea that people are talking about, well, influencers are important. They're going to continue to rise.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a few kind of thoughts about this that I kind of scribbled down in our notes section here was, yes, the importance of influencers is going to rise, and mainly because people, and with engaged influencers, right, that are appropriate for your brand and for what you're trying to do. But I think the point is, like, people want to align with companies who are aligned with people they look up to, right?
Yeah.
Basic human nature.
For
right?
sure. It's about connect. That's the social part.
It's the social part, making that connection,
the connection.
and you know, it's not just the interstitial video ad for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more about a genuine connection with those people that are influencers.
Yep.
The other important thing to remember is pretty much everybody's an influencer.
Yeah.
If you've got a social profile, you have influence. Stacey, you were just mentioning
nano influencers.
nano influence. I mean, you can give it all sorts of different names, whatever you want to kind of throw the term on it. But if you look at the fact that everybody has these profiles, everybody has the ability to share and communicate with their network, whatever that network may be. Right? You may be Kylie Jenner has got a network. She's got amazing amounts of influence.
And you might use a Kylie Jenner, but one of the nice things about having maybe like a lower tier influencer, one that doesn't have as many followers, is that perhaps they're looked at as a thought leader in your community or in your local area, and now you can leverage their content. You can work with them to partner with them to really reach a target area if that's what you're looking to do.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it this way: partner with every one of your customers. Say thank you. Like, just send them a message, create a story, send them a direct message, send them an email, make it personalized, thanking them for their business in 2019, how much it means to you, and open a dialogue with them, and those become your influencers. That's how you build your tribe.
And sometimes,
right?
This is going to sound a little backward. Don't worry. But sometimes the best influencers you can reach are the customers that may have reached out to you because they had a negative experience with your brand.
Yeah.
There's a real opportunity there to convert them or get them to understand or help them and build trust that way. You know, it's really important that when you do get comments or people reach out to you and they have maybe feedback or some negative comments about your brand, that you speak with them, because you might be able to offer them a solution they didn't even know existed, and then all of a sudden you've converted them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so that ties directly into this notion of, well, this is the omni-channel side. So then another big thing, and again, I'm not going to deconstruct. There are these massive lists of 50 things that are going to be a trend in 2020, and I think, frankly, a lot of it is kind of bullshit, because is AI going to be a trend? It has been a trend for years.
It's been around.
Yeah.
Yep.
And AI is not something that 99% of the population will construct, but 100% of everybody is going to be influenced by it.
Yeah, and
Right?
some of the lists, when we were kind of reviewing to decide what we thought was going to be trending in 2020, sometimes I felt they were kind of like spitballing a bit. They'd say, oh, like quantum computing. And I'm like, how, okay, is that just another fancy way to say AI? Like, I know it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't
Quantum
know.
computing is something that's going to happen, but it's not going to impact your day-to-day life yet.
Yeah.
When it
Exactly.
does, it's going to make a
It's gonna
huge
be huge.
difference.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a revolution.
But for example, like use the AI side of it. You touch AI every single second of every single day, whether you're using YouTube or Amazon or Google search engine or Bing. So is it a trend? Yeah, absolutely. Is it something that's new? No.
Watch how your kids use their phones too.
Yep.
Like my teenage daughter, she never types in a search. She just like, Siri, when's the movie starting? Like they don't even, so that what's coming is just
what's coming,
more evolved.
Well, I think that what the trend is that these things aren't going away and they're going to have continued dominance.
Yeah.
And that's going to pull in a lot more with voice-based searching.
Yep.
That's going to permeate pretty much every nook and cranny of your life. So if you're an SEO, for example, or if you're trying to get your product out there or get it understood, you have to take some of these other channels into account. From the bigger picture, what do you need? What should we be thinking about as marketers in 2020? Is it really comes back, I think, kind of full circle. For B2B companies, for example, and I kind of harp on this a lot, a B2B buyer is simply a customer who has a corporate budget.
Yes.
They're using somebody else's money.
Yep.
There's still a human being behind that, and a whole bunch of human beings typically, right, to make a purchasing decision. But at the end of the day, you see things like B2B to C and B to H and B to B to X and all these crazy acronyms.
I'm trying to find it, but I found this really great stat that talked about B2B advertising, especially, in terms of storytelling. And they were saying that 88% of B2B customers are more likely to engage with your business when you've taken the time to tell the story of your business or your brand.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, and you're probably like, thanks, Tips. But like at the same time, it does get lost.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, I need to be really technical or I have to send a broad stroke message, and it doesn't need to be that way.
No, and it really comes down to effective storytelling is the key to gaining attention of the target audience. And I mean, that's kind of an age-old idea. In the world of digital marketing, the idea of storytelling has had kind of a soft reputation, although it is the most powerful way that you see people. Like, I mean, if you look at TED Talks, for example, if you look at, these are all storytelling initiatives, right?
Yes.
You look at someone like Elon Musk telling a story, like he's telling a story about Tesla and SpaceX when he talks.
Yeah.
Right? Even though he does it in this awkward, stunted, nerdy, weird way.
Yep.
He's got a personality and he's telling a story. So from a marketing perspective, I think it's to look at your programs holistically and ask yourself, are you telling a story and are you authentic? You know, we could have done one of two things when that camera went out. We could have shut that stream off.
Yeah.
And sent out an apology, and tied up Matt and given him 10 lashings. It's not Matt's fault, actually. It's probably my fault more than anybody. But the point being is that there's an authenticity to a live stream.
Yes.
And frankly, shit happens on live streams. It does.
Especially on social media too.
You just gotta roll with
it's
it.
about that.
Yeah.
We talk about it more often than not, especially these states whenever we're working on something. People sometimes take social media a little bit too seriously, and you have to like kind of recognize that social media is a social atmosphere, right? If you stage something a little bit too much, then it comes off disingenuous and things like that, and it's just kind of like, okay, like, you know what I mean? What are you really doing?
Yeah. So, I wrote out like 5 points, 15 different points here, but they were really centered on what are the big trends, right? The importance of influencers will increase. Yes, they will, but everyone's an influencer.
Yeah.
B2B companies are going to recognize the idea that brand awareness, engagement, and storytelling are absolutely critical, and bringing more personality into it. Then reviews, social proof and reviews are huge. They're going to continue to be because of the fact that your potential customers are influencers who have a network, who will then look at the reviews. They don't just look at the reviews. Like, you can think of Facebook reviews and Google reviews and Trustpilot and G2 Crowd and all these different things. Don't worry about that. My glasses broke. I knew that was going to happen during the stream. Welcome 2020. Yes, by the way, it's the year of the rat, and I am technically a rat in the Chinese calendar.
Okay.
I'm not technically. I actually am.
I think I'm a rabbit.
I'm a dog.
There you go. So reviews are social proof. So that includes comments on Facebook posts. It includes comments throughout your Instagram.
And I think it's really cool when brands make an effort to encourage reviews.
Yes.
Like they throw it as a contest or whatever it is. It really, it's a great way to gather that data that you need. That's going to help you optimize like moving forward. But like, I mean, how many people can say that they've bought anything in this day and age and not looked at a review?
Well, that's it.
You
right?
know, like it's pretty standard now. So
Yep. So yes, reviews are gain continual importance.
Yeah.
But again, this is all coming together. See how much fun we're having on today's live stream.
I
here?
mean, I'm kind of loving it.
It's
We're
kind of
just, like,
it's
rolling
it's
with
about
it.
as
Yeah.
genuine.
We're
and
back and
authentic.
better than ever.
We're back and better than ever, baby. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. And then the next one is, and again, I've pulled some of these trends are known trends. Conversational marketing is going to become mainstream, and it's not going to be this kind of cool thing that a few people do. But again, if you can kind of see the point here is these things are all intertwined together.
Yeah.
They aren't, it isn't like, okay, guys, we're launching the conversational marketing program in Q2.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be open, communicative, and talk to our customers.
Exactly.
That's a really hard thing to implement unless you win a hearts and minds campaign within your organization, right? But when we talk about conversational marketing as well, I think the important thing is, and conversational marketing has this idea that it's chatbot.
No,
It's
it's more involved than that. Like we ran a campaign for New Year's for one of our clients, and we could have done the same old, where we're like, Happy New Year, you know, hope you're having a great time in 2020. Live long and prosper. I don't know, whatever. You know, but instead, it was actually, it's funny that you mentioned a TED Talk. We actually got the inspiration from a TED Talk where it was like Shonda Rhimes was talking about how, why don't you make this the year you say yes to things? So, yes, I will work on self-care. Yes, I will work on eating better. Yes, I will work on, you know, staying motivated when times get tough. And so we did a whole video and concept around that idea. And then we asked other people in the copy, what are you going to say yes to? And it was a great opportunity to kind of have that conversation, a two-way conversation where it wasn't just Happy New Year. It was like, okay, what are you going to do? Right? So like it can be implemented in other ways. It doesn't just have to be a chatbot. It can be simply in a post or a video or, you know, all these other channels.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the other thing that's important is conversational marketing does include chatbots. It does include, and there's various types of chatbots. There's really simple ones that just branch you through some logic. And then there's more complex ones like MasterCard is using to actually understand what people are saying to try to answer. But think about it this way. There's also WhatsApp, Instagram direct messaging, Facebook Messenger, text messaging, right?
Geo-targeting messaging, what do they call it? Like zoning. Where if you're in a store, you automatically get a reminder for something.
Yeah. So people say conversational marketing is chatbots. It's not. That's like saying, did search engines, well, are Google, but there's other search engines that exist too, right? So conversational marketing is a strategy and not a tactic. A chatbot is a tactic to achieve conversational marketing. So it's important to distinguish that. So people are saying, well, one of the biggest trending, and I literally read out, tactics is conversational marketing. That was Drift trying to sell their product through that article, which is fine. But again, conversational marketing is a strategy. And beneath it, there are tons of ways. Conversational marketing is marketing.
Yeah.
It should be. If it isn't in your brand, it needs to be.
Yeah, the days of buy now, you know, no worries. Or what was the thing that Mel Lastman used to say?
Nobody?
Nobody or something. I can't remember.
Who's better than Beth?
Yeah,
exactly.
better than that.
Like buy now.
I still think that some of that will be a thing. But people will want to buy from someone that they know, that they understand. I mean, if you look at Mel Lastman, you brought up something that's probably 20 years old at least.
Yeah,
if
true.
not more.
True.
So
obviously
it resonated and stuck with you, right? And he had a personality. So in a sense, like that's a different generation, but the concept is still the same, right? And so that leads us to this idea of the paid marketing channels, right? So spin up, Google campaign, Facebook and Bing, Microsoft, LinkedIn campaign, and let's sell to everybody. Again, that's not going to be very effective for you. One, the inventories are saturated, and we're seeing that every day in our campaigns. and it's not getting any better. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
Costs are going up, cost per click, cost per acquisition. They're all increasing. So how do you deal with that, right?
Yeah. How do you stand out?
Yeah. Again, tying it all back together to what we started talking about is really like all of these things are intertwined, as is your paid efforts. And your paid efforts should be used to help you build a high level audience, aka brand campaigns that tell a story.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Capture those users, get them interested, and then start talking to them.
Yeah, because you can intertwine the story where in each channel maybe you're treating that story differently, or you're asking to engage whatever way it's appropriate for that channel. But if you have a highly integrated holistic plan, it doesn't matter if your customer's on Facebook or all of a sudden they're on YouTube. It should resonate with them, and it should be consistent.
Yeah. And the way that you measure your brand campaigns are through things like organic branded searches that are coming to your website, through mentions and engagement on the platforms. And even if you have a small budget of $50, $100, $150, right? Start with a small budget and use it to help you build your audiences. Again, that's going to get you the best bang for your buck. And if you've done all of the things that we just talked about, conversational marketing, reviews, all of my customers are influencers. B2B companies are human beings with a corporate credit card that can buy things, right? If you think about it in that sense, then it's much easier to kind of come up with and conceptualize the story that you want to tell and what you're going to do with that budget, whether you have $1 million or $150. You can make effective use of those dollars to help reinforce all of these things that we're talking about here. And to me, that's the trend. That's the one trend is this. You say on omni-channel marketing, we're victims of just terrible naming that everyone comes up with a new thing, right? No, it's B2B to C to H, like whatever. Everything is intertwined. The most important thing you can get from your audience is their attention, and then use storytelling and all of these other strategies to open a conversation and develop that relationship. By doing that consistently, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
If you take $100,000 ads budget and just throw it at promotion, but don't do anything on the follow-up, you're going to run into a brick wall.
Yeah. I mean, like Google, they'll take your money. But you gotta make
with a smile.
You gotta make effective use of it. Be smart.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we have hit the 5 o'clock hour.
How did we do that?
How did we do that?
I don't know.
Nice dancing.
Your phone.
My glasses fell apart. The camera died.
I don't know why I said your phone. Probably because
I'm holding it. You're looking at it. I don't know.
Bringing in the new year.
Hey, look. You know what? We like to bring in things with a bang in the new year here at the Hive. Not to worry, we'll have everything ironed out when we have our lovely guests on.
Yes.
Pray a little bit. It's okay. We got our first one for the outtake reel, which we actually have to start working on.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we do have to
All
get that
Stacey's
blooper reel
weird
going
stories.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, hopefully that was enlightening in terms of, taking a new way of looking at the trends in 2020. I think I always get a bit, it's a bit ridiculous, the 50 things that are going to be predictions and trends for 2020.
Yeah.
I think what it is what we just talked about is everything is fully intertwined, and you can't look at things from a siloed perspective of well, we're going to launch a chatbot and that's going to make it successful, right?
No.
I think the trend is that all things are completely intertwined at all times.
Absolutely.
So, and there's ways to work around that when you see that strategy. So.
Sure.
All right, we will
get to work.
There you go. That's right. I know we booked like 17 meetings in one day today, so
We did. I know. It was crazy.
yeah,
Yep.
it's a little daunting looking at the 2020 January calendar, but it is what it is.
We'll do it.
We'll do it. We always do.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you for episode 111 next week,
Yep.
and have a great weekend.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.